Hello and happy Friday. Gonna get my iPad going while some of you jump on, and this has been like a quick week, and it's been a busy week too, but I'm excited to bring you card number 2 for Pam Crinky's virtual stamp party. So I see that I'm going here, it looks like already, so I'm gonna set my iPad down. And I've kind of challenged myself because I know you guys don't put any pressure on me, and I love that you don't. And so my challenge to myself is to keep kind of plugging away this month on some of the cute papers. So that way, if you feel like that you've purchased some of these papers and aren't sure what to do with it, maybe you've already purchased them before the sale and you need some inspiration, then it kind of plugs at me to provide that for you. So yesterday I used the Forever Greenery in a fun, new and different way, and then today I'm going to use the Plaid Tidings paper. And if you like to follow along, the Plaid Tidings paper is in the holiday catalog, the August through December catalog. And it's on page 57. So the more I use this, I ordered quite a bit of it right away. And hi Marie, hi Julie. And so as I was using it, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is good stuff. It's got stuff for all occasions. It's got designs for fall. It's got designs for winter and everything. So I'm loving the Plaid Tidings. And so I think it's great that they put it on sale, because so many times we love something and it doesn't go on sale, mostly because of the demand. And so when this sold out a couple times when it was first released, I went, oh, here we go again. One of our favorites is going to be gone. And yet then I saw like they were bringing in 25,000 packages of it. I was able to see one day when it was on back order. So I thought, oh, that was before I knew it was going to be on the paper sale. So now it makes sense why they brought in so much. So I'm excited to bring you another idea using the Plaid Tidings DSP from the holiday catalog. Hi Linda, hi RB. And so so that's kind of where I'm drawing that from. I've been out in the field, so I'm a little dry. Okay, so now let me show you card number 2. Here's card number 2 for Pam Crinky's virtual party. And I've been having so much fun with the Harvest Hellos. It's been one of my favorite bundles. Anytime there's a punch that goes with a stamp set bundle, I'm just always drawn into that. Like I love the new, not new, but the brought back Mary Moose bundle. And so that's been kind of fun too, to play around with that again, because we all thought it was gone, then they brought it back. But anytime, like I said, that I can just quick grab a punch to create and not have to get out my cutting machine, even though that makes things spectacular in so many ways, it's fun to use that too. So I think I kind of showed you where that's from, but let me turn the camera around now for you and I'll get started on the card. So my host is Pam. Sometimes she joins in, sometimes she's not. She lives out in the Black Hills, and so what's kind of fun is that her job is she works for one of the companies that gives the helicopter tours out there. So it's like she's my hero, because I'm kind of afraid of heights, and to think that she does that, it's like, wow. Okay, so here's the card up front. I kind of have on purpose the designer series paper, and the next layer a little kitty wampus, so no, it's not your eyes playing tricks on you. So that was done on purpose. Sometimes I like to just flip the paper to give it a little bit more personality and spunk. So that's the card facing towards you, and so you can actually read that hey there pumpkin without it being reversed image like in a mirror. And then where I'm pulling this from is the Harvest Hello stamp set, and that's from our annual catalog that has this on the front cover, and it's from page 89. So so you can see there. And then anytime you're in the catalog and you see images that have kind of this cream color, like a vanilla color, that means that those images are the images that will punch out with the coordinating punch. If you see gray images, that means that those images will be cut out with die cuts. So that's just a little tip too to help you navigate the catalogs. And if you ever need catalogs, please let me know, because I have plenty on hand and can get those to you. And they're also online as well. If you go to my store, they're all there too. Okay, so out of the stamp set, I've said before, my favorite stamp out of the whole set are these fun little seeds, because they can look like both apple seeds and pumpkin seeds. And I've been doing some fun things with the apples that you've seen before, and some fun things with the pumpkin. And I feel like it's kind of just like a month-long set sometimes that you can do so much with. But then again, fall's longer than a month, so I enjoy using it. So this is what it looks like, and there's lots of nice sentiments too. So, okay, I'll set that aside and we will make the card. So to start out with my card, I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to start with this layer of pumpkin pie cardstock here. So my card base is 5.5 by 4 1/4, and whenever I'm doing like my traditional matting, that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's what I also do the inside for layering that for your sentiments and your writing to your friends. When I do cut down my pieces to 4 inches and such, often I have scraps that are about 1/2 inch strip like so, and so I'm actually going to be using some of those strips today. So I don't know if you're like me and tend to not throw things away very often, but those strips come in handy. Once I get so many, then I do throw them away, because I know I can't keep up with all of them, especially as often as I collect those scraps by cutting the insides of my cards. Hi Pam, thanks for joining in. Okay, so this particular scrap is, let's see, that is 4.5 by, here we go, had to think. Some of you like this, so if you make the card again, 4.5 by 2.75. Hey Derek, can you help me 1 second? And I'm going to open up my pumpkin pie ink pad. Just realized I forgot my piece of that, so my college son's home. If he hears me, he might come up and help me out, but otherwise, I don't know, he might have even left. Oh, can you help me 1 second? On my desk is some paper that looks like that, and bring my paper cutter too. Thank you. Okay, so I have had to run away from my videos and go get things, but I don't like you guys have to wait either. So I'm going to create a background by using just this pumpkin, and I'm stamping it in pumpkin pie ink with pumpkin pie cardstock. So it kind of looks like Versamark, but a little different. So it's going to make a fun background, and that I'm going to leave room for a top, so I don't want anything too close there. And just going to add just these little stems here, and the stems are great for both pumpkins and apples alike. So I'm just kind of filling that in like so. It looks pretty blah for now. And then the little curly Q, like so. It should be right on my desk, not that desk, the opposite desk. Okay, I'm just gonna do more curly Qs here, and there may be even a tad coming down on that one for pretend too. So I've got that, and then I'm going to work on my focal point, which is going to be the pumpkin. So I'm just going to stamp out the pumpkin. Once again, I'm going to use my blends. So this is unusual that I'm going to use my pumpkin pie ink pad instead of my Memento black ink pad, because usually that's what I use when I'm going to use my blends. So I'm just using pumpkin pie, and then I'm going to color it with my blends, and starting with the pumpkin pie too. So it kind of gives it a fun, different look than the black. That is my traditional go-to color. And so I'm just going to take and start with the dark color and trace on the inside like so. And just kind of trace down around the whole outside. And you don't have to get this perfect, because it just wants to be darker like it would be on a pumpkin. And then on each side of these lines, from the pumpkin image, I'm just going to trace that there and there. And that doesn't have to be perfect too. You can just almost kind of be sloppy if you want, because when I go over it with the light blends, it's just going to blend that all together. So you can kind of, whoops, see that. Hi, Nancy. Usually Nancy doesn't join in, and she sent me an email saying that usually she watches me later, so it must be a good Friday to jump in. And Barb's here too. Hello, guys. And then I'm going to take my lighter of the pumpkin pie, and then I just try and grab some of that dark that I did along the edges and blend that together. And then I go between the two, and I never try and like fill in like back and forth just to get in there. I do try and go over the dark to give that a good blend. And this is something also that you can't do too often with regular markers. If you have regular markers and just make a little scribble like that, chances are if you go over it later, that scribble is going to stay visible and show. So that's what I love about the blends, is that they are so forgiving and they just kind of erase themselves as they dry too. So you'll see a few of my marks back and forth, but give it a few minutes and that will look totally different too. Okay, so I'm going to punch this out too. Oh, Becky, we've got like the trio of sisters again, I think. That's pretty cool when you guys are all together. Okay, so I've stamped first, and then I'm going to feed my pumpkin into my punch here. And it's always kind of tricky. I'm looking through my camera's lens as I do this, not at the punch. So that matched up pretty well. And I'm just going to take that out. And then I'm going to add my little pieces, which are going to be my stem and my little leaf. And I've already stamped this stem on kind of that background paper that I've created myself, just the little bits and pieces of that. So this is orange, so I need to make sure and wipe that off. And these are those little Stampin' Scrubbies in the back of the annual catalog, and I just cut mine in half and put it in a half case, which Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell anymore. So if you do get one of these, you'd have to buy the full case or something if you like to store it like that. But I love just being able to wipe off my stamps when I'm in the middle of a project and want to switch colors. You can tell it was purple and is well loved, and I just keep rinsing it underneath my kitchen sink to clean it out. But often I don't bring this on my camera, so it's good to have that today to show you guys. And so the color I want to go with next is Crumb Cake. So I'm just going to set that aside here. And when I did my sample, I had to go, okay, which way is it going to cut out? And so I really didn't plan that well. So I'm going to plan it better. And I'll just kind of cut this off too so that I can access that. And this one I'm going to color in ahead of time. So I've got just the stem here stamped in Crumb Cake ink, and I'm going to take only the lighter of the Crumb Cake markers, because for that tiny little thing, nobody's going to really notice if you use both of the blends. And this is where I wanted to plan that out to make sure I had the stem facing or stamped out the right direction there. So that can go in my punch like so. And got that. And then next, I'm going to take my Crumb Cake and stamp out the leaf here. And I'm just going to go over that with the light Crumb Cake again. Just going to the edges. And like I said, usually I'm doing all of this in that Memento Black and then following up with using my blends over that. But I think it's kind of fun to see it kind of done in a lighter, subtler shape, and the lines aren't as prominent that way. So as much as I love this stamp or this punch that coordinates with the stamp set, I wish that it would have a punch to punch out the leaf, but it's just got the stem and kind of more of this leaf, which I could have used, but I think it looks, that definitely looks like an apple. So I'm just going to take my scissor, and this doesn't take much at all to cut out the leaf. So I'm just going to kind of trim around that like so. And I do have a separate scissor for both my ribbon and paper cutting. And if I am like just not paying attention and I grab the one that's not my ribbon cutting scissors and try and cut my scissors, I can sure tell that it is just really dull and almost wants to snag the ribbon along. Okay, so I've got that cut out and that little piece. And so how I'm going to attach those things is with my glue dots. I love my glue dots because they're pretty tiny but super sticky. Just going to kind of center that and put that right on my pumpkin. And I spent way too long trying to see if I wanted my leaf to go down, to go up, to go on what side. So I'm kind of like at a 3/4 of a mast there, and actually both of these would be able to stick in the. As that dries for a second, I'm going to go back to my craft room because I forgot the fun plaid Tidings paper that I'm so excited about. So hold on one second. Okay, commercial breaks usually aren't that aren't that quick, so I hope I ran fast enough. Hello, Okaboji and Sarah and Mom and gang, and oh, you guys are together making cards. I love that you guys checked in. So hopefully I can inspire you today. All right, so this is the Fun Plaid Tidings paper that's on sale that I've been using tons of lately. It's a 6x6 stack. So for today, what I did is just took a 6x6 piece. Trying to think if I even have this exact piece to show you. Not that it matters much. Okay, so 6x6, and I just trimmed off a 1/2 inch to make it, or actually 3/4 to make it 5 1/4 right away. And then I cut it in half so that I can make 2 cards with it. So it's 5 1/4 by 3 inches. And I'm just going to take my adhesive, and I forgot that too. Hold on tight. This is so crazy, you guys, but I was so busy trying to get cards caught up from last month's stamp camp, and I wanted to get them out in the mail. So I brought everything that I usually use from my dining room table back there, and it looks like it's in its right spot back there, and my table looked full when my video started, so I thought I had everything. My goodness. Okay, so to do my kinking, to get the best benefit, I try and get it as close to this edge and that edge as I can. So I'm just going to tilt it like so. And that's about as close as I can get there and there. And then for that next layer, so this one, like I said, is 3 by 5 1/4. This is 4 1/2 by 2.75. There we go. And so that is ready to be tacked down as well. Okay. And I'm going to put that at an angle too, because it's kind of hard to have one thing at an angle and not the next. And then the belly band. And so there again, what I said at the beginning, I was using up some fun strips, not intentionally, but I just kind of wanted a thin strip. And I had quite a bit of this that matched the base of the cardstock in the Pretty Peacock. So I'm just kind of putting a little bit of adhesive on each end, and I'm going to try and get that kind of right across the middle here, like so. And it doesn't look the greatest right now. So sometimes if you're making a card and you go, oh, just keep going, And next, this is ready, and I'm going to also trim down the Hey There Pumpkin. I love this color combination. I don't know if I would normally put these colors together, but there again, when the designer series paper says that it goes together, it's kind of fun to say, hey, that's a good combination. So I'm just gonna tip these two things over, the sentiment and my pumpkin. And on this little skinny strip, I'm just gonna look for that skinny edge on my dimensionals, and I'm going to use that. And that just fits across the back side perfect. Oops, actually a little too long. Use that for something else later. So that fits on there. Whoops. And wants to stick to my fingers. Okay. All right. And Sarah, since she checked in, if you guys haven't noticed, I should advertise again on my Facebook page. She is down at the Okoboji Lutheran camp, and they are sponsoring a great retreat coming up. She just announced that it's full for now with a waiting list, but there's always a next time. So if you guys want more information about that great retreat, let me know. So that's my plug as I'm assembling my card here. Okay, so I'm just popping that up a little bit off the belly band instead of putting it right on. Kind of gives it more of a 3D effect that way. And popping that up, and I didn't put anything special behind the leaf so that it can just kind of free float a little bit. And then next I need to do my inside and add a little bit of an embellishment. So my inside today is going to be just the pumpkin again in pumpkin pie color of ink. And then I'm just going to go over it with the little swirl. I'm not going to color it in. It's kind of fun sometimes just to have a little bit of a skeleton look for the inside, just to kind of follow the theme through, but not take away from the actual card. So that's going to be kind of my fun inside. And then since I didn't use it on the front, then next, my favorite little stamp in crumb cake ink of those seeds trailing there. So that's the inside look. And I'll tap some ink onto the back here, or not ink, adhesive. That's ready to tape in, like so. And I never like to just give it a full smear. I feel like it's dry, but you never know if there's that one thing that's gonna just smear. Okay, and then for my accessory for the outside, these are one of the #1 sellers out of everything in the entire holiday catalog. These are the blue adhesive back gems. And so it has a nice combination of the light blue color, like the balmy blue, there we go, and the darker is the peacock color that is the color of the card base I'm using. So I've had fun using some of both already, and then there's the larger gems and then the smaller gems. I'm going to use the smaller ones, and being self-adhesive, I love that. And so I'm going to do an odd number because that always looks the best. So I'm just going to take and line up 3 kind of across this pumpkin pie section of the card here. And Cheryl's popping in to say hi. Hi, Cheryl. It's Cheryl's closing day on her online party, so it's a fun day for her to pick out rewards. Okay, so here we go, and that is the finished card. So just, you know, seeing it, like, I love the color combination and how the Plaid Tidings brings that together, but then just adding those little embellishments there just really, to me, topped off the card in a fun way. Thank you, Pam. And then once again, the inside, just carrying through with that same color combination, giving it a little bit of character in the inside too. So Pam loves fall, so I wanted to do something fall. She's not a big fan of Halloween, so I thought this definitely looks more fall than Halloween. So I thought this would be a fun thing for her. So thanks, guys. And before I flip the camera around, you're going to get a little shot of what I'm going to be doing this at. Whoops, it did flip around. If you can see, I picked garden stuff last night, it was going to freeze. So I'm like, hey, let's pick all the peppers and tomatoes that might be ready. So I've got green peppers, banana peppers, jalapeno peppers, and tomatoes coming out of my ears. So if you're wondering what I'll be doing tonight, chances are I might be canning or freezing or something like that. So, but yeah, all of a sudden I thought, it's gonna freeze. I didn't realize I had that much stuff out there. Okay. So that was card number 2 for Pam's virtual party. And if you are interested in ordering to get the cards, so yesterday was card number 1, today's card number 2, Monday will be card number 3. So as a thank you, if you order using her host code, then you get all 3 of the fun cards as a thank you from both Pam and I. So a fun way to treat you guys to some ideas and inspiration that way too. And keep in mind, if you are ordering here, I have it pinned to the top of my Facebook page, this month's special, the paper sale, 15% off 15 different designs, which are great ones. And so I've been trying to put those things at the top. So as I add my videos for the day and cards for the day, it keeps going underneath that. So since the paper sale is pinned to the top, I've also put all the information for my hostesses and their links to shopping to help you guys too. So if you're ever thinking like, oh, does she have a lot of hostesses? Should I consider being a virtual hostess? Is her plate full? As somebody closes out their party, I erase their link. And then as somebody decides that they want to be an online party and I open that up, then I add that to the top pinned post of my Facebook page that this is going on to. So some of you are seeing that and I love that. So that just kind of helps to keep us in the loop too. So next week I might do something fun like a giveaway. So make sure that you have liked my page, because that's always the thing too. When I do giveaways, I always give special perks to those that have liked my page. And so a lot of you have, and the reason why I do want to do a giveaway is I'm over 500 page likes. So that's very exciting for just this small little rural girl here. So thank you so much for supporting me, and I'll be back again on Monday. But in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions about any of the products or anything that I've done with them. Thanks so much and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.